Hello. I've just finished up the first campaign over at Tabletop Wargamers, and I'm looking at running a second campaign unless I end up actually playing in somebody else's campaign. So, anyway, 4 ideas that I came up with for campaign 2. Go with the Forgotten Realms setting. It's a commonly accessible setting. It's been around for a while. People are familiar with it. So, as the group meets, all the player characters met because they were enslaved by the Red Wizards of Thay, which is a big bad evil group within the Forgotten Realms setting. And they do things like that. Your group, particularly the player characters, were given a chance to fight their way to freedom in a set of death matches. You survived. You were taken to the border, turned loose, and you're now in Aglarond, one of the bordering nations. You therefore have no equipment to start. Some will be issued to you, but other than that, you've just got the sparse clothes on your back. On the other hand, because you have had to fight and fight and fight and fight, you start off at level 3. So you'd be able to get your class specializations at that point. Second, in a large, go with Australia-sized continent, you have a central flat plain, and around that flat plain are a number of nations. Let's go with 7. Each of these nations has been fighting each other and has been fighting usually in that flat plain area, which is a fertile, remains to be fertile, plain used mainly for farming when it is in a battlefield. Kingdom of Faldoran has the least amount of money of military strength, and in the alliance that is formed among the groups that are normally fighting each other, the Demon King that has taken over the central portion is seen as a common enemy and is giving them some desire to be united in this common threat. Not that they won't backstab each other in the process. However, Felderan has no standing army, or at least a very limited standing army, and not a lot of cash. However, they do have a hero summoning ritual, which they use, get the player characters, and at that point it becomes open up to you. Do you stick with the Kingdom of Felderan, which will feed, clothe, provide supplies and training until they're ready to turn you loose against the Demon King's armies, or you do investigations into this setting, or do you set out on your own rather than be beholden to this kingdom that has ripped you from your world? If you do stick with them, the king is promising you 2 common and 1 uncommon items from the royal treasury. Third, you awaken in the hold of a slave ship, blue ink, slightly glowing tattoos on your left forearm. You were awakened when a lightning bolt went through the deck, through and severing a magical circle that was holding you in stasis. And now you have disjointed memories of your past, but you're at least temporarily free. Do you Join in the defense of the ship. Join in the attack of the ship. Hide. Again, up to you. This, I think, would be most fun is if you only have a vague description of your character and then discover things along the way. Because, like I said, muddled memories. You don't remember much of your past. Or, in fact, anything of your past. Fourth, basically solo leveling. Earth. Early 21st century. Dungeons appear all over the earth. Most of them near major metropolitan centers. Some far, far away from metropolitan centers. Each one has a basic level. Each one comes populated with monsters. Going into one, you basically have to choose a class and a race. Downside is, after you come out, whether you retreat from the dungeon or if you actually complete one, yeah, the racing class you're stuck with, though you may be able to change class. And depending on what resources, you might be able to change race again. D&D mechanics apply within the dungeons. And the treasures within the dungeons can be taken outside, including crystals, which can be used as power sources, which is one reason everybody is a lot more accepting of you going into that dungeon. Because these tiny little crystals can be acting as batteries. The large crystals can be basically taking the place of generators. The bigger the crystals, the purer the crystals, the more power can be pulled out of them. They're not an infinite source of power. They will run out. But then there's always another dungeon that you can go into. Again, that's just 4 campaign ideas, seeds, if you will. Any of whom might make for a good second campaign. Let me know in the comments what you think, and have a good day. Farewell wherever you fare.